I guess it's my similar question to before. Like, if we're able to express a concept, I guess the other one was a bad example, but if we're able to express a concept purely by facial expression or by the way of being a certain way, how much should we rely on gesture in that situation? Like in this case, you talked about how like you would show it through your face. Then how much should I focus on the gesture? Should I?
So one thing that strikes me is so when we talk about gestures, we talk about performance, and when you're performing something, if you're performing it alone in a hall or a room, it doesn't matter what gesture we use, whether we use gestures or not, it doesn't matter because it's me and somebody, some entity, whoever, God or like some power that you're dancing to. It's just essentially I'm alone in the room. It doesn't matter if I use gestures or not. But when we use gestures, we're communicating, and for that communication to be received, you need somebody in front of you. And that brings us to the concept of the audience. And when you have a certain kind of audience in front of you, you have to kind of work with what kind of an audience are they? Will they be able to understand me, what I'm trying to express through my expressions? Or will I need to use more languages in order for them to be able to understand me? So, somewhere, I think it's...
My answer to that is a little different from these. I think it depends on where it is in the lyrics and then what you're trying to show and where, right? Let's say in the lyrics the word Asha is there, right? Hope. So, and you decide, and let's say this is in the word or other, right? And then you decide that, first I always do Adanta. That's your format, let's say. And then if you did gesture for every word, but for Asha, if you just did with your face, that may not work very well. So you may need a gesture in that case. But later on, you may say, I am going to use minimal gestures here. I'm going to kind of like go on Satu Kavita. At that point, you may decide not to show any gesture and just show Asha in your face, right? So that's my take on it. Whether would you just eschew gesture for hope altogether, or just show it, or show it in both face and gesture.
And I just wanted to add to also like what we're attempting to do, right? Because the thing is, if we don't even need a vocabulary called hope in that case, we could have said all these many things that we were saying so far to express what we're doing. Clearly, there is a thought or a space over there which required a word called hope that will everybody, all of us understand what hope is. And that's what we're trying to do with gesture also. No? I mean, in terms of, again, employing the gesture, like you said, I mean, depending on context and how you want to bring it is different. But why do we require it? Because there is a, like thought and word are connected. I don't know if there can be thought without a word, right? Like, I don't know if I'm expressing myself properly,
no,
but...
It's like what he's saying. Like, if you take a Bharatanamas, Padartham, Vakyartham, then Sanchari. I think what Mahati did was Sanchari, right? As in, I mean, from my definition of it is, it's not it's based on a conceptual idea, whereas this is, if you had the word and you had to do it, that would be the perfect way to do it. Like, I guess that's it. At the end of the day, gestures don't matter that much. Like, generally, if you follow that rule, like I do two Padartham, two Vakyartham, and then I move on. It just it gives me a system. I know that system. And
I'm not sure I agree though with the idea that gestures don't matter.
No. I mean, like
if we had no gestures, to what degree like your communication gets throttled? It's a combination only that we're playing on.
I think that I think gestures important. I mean, what I meant by that is that as you slowly progress in your training, right? I think this is gonna be a long video. If you're talking about gesture, I think when you start learning, like I just went to an intensive where we were expected to do an Ashtapadi with no hand gestures, and some of us didn't know the bloody Ashtapadi, so we're just sitting there going, and you're just like swaying to the music because it's important. You need the gestures, but then slowly, if you build a sentence, right? It's like when you're studying for notes. you build a sentence, you highlight almost the whole sentence, and then you slowly go down and you break down to less and less and less as your journey continues. That's what I
But I
meant.
don't understand that because even if you're taking it away from a performance space, okay, how do I communicate with you? Imagine the Ashtapati, okay, I'm Radha, I have Krishna in front of me.
Sure.
You reach out for his hand, you embrace, you
Sure.
do these things. These are things
Those
that
are
you're
gestures,
expressing with
agree,
your body.
but it depends
How
on-
can I not use my body and express myself? with
Because
my full-
which gesture are you talking about? When a gesture is something that is definitive, it's very different to a gesture of holding. Obviously, you're not going to sit there and do the Ashtapadi and not hold it, just go, oh yeah, like that. These
No,
kinds
but
of
that
things.
is gesture. No?
I-
It's
that's
only that
gesture.
we're
I
making
completely
it
agree
more
with that.
codified.
When you're talking about, I'm talking about codified gestures. When we're expecting, I don't think you can do certain things and expect the gesture to do the work of the narrative.
No, that's not what we're expecting. But
No,
without
that's all I'm
the
saying.
base of that.
And I'm saying that. I'm saying when I did this Ashtapadi thing, if they had just given me hands, I'd have been like, great. And then I could have picked and chosen which ones I need, which ones I don't need. And that's what I was saying, is that hands are important at a certain level, but it's also important to remember that they are not definitive. Gesture is important. I'm not saying that you can dance without gesture. I'm talking about gesturization where we're talking
It
about
complements the emotion. Is that what
hope.
you're saying?
I hope you now at this time will come. When you know what I mean? Like there's 3 of those gestures you could easily cut out to still keep the sentence flowing. That's what I meant by I don't know how important gesture is. Because hope in that sentence wasn't actually the most important thing. You could have easily jumped over hope with one of like a Sanchari-ish kind of facial expression to show the hope and move on with the sentence. Sometimes sentences get too complex, right? And I feel sometimes gestures get too complex. Perhaps it's because I look at it from a very, I think about a white person watching me dance a lot, and that makes me think, because they don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know that this is a female and this is a male, that feel is much more important than gesture per se. So it depends on which audience you're talking to. I think those things are something that you have to take into thought as well.
I agree with what you said. I think because you suggested, he said it before, that as you get more stronger as an artist, maybe you're less reliant on gestures per se. But I think Bharatanatyam and Indian arts in general often have gesture as a grammar. And that is the beauty of the art form. And it is worth developing and delving into it and swimming into it to embrace it and use it in different, like to explore how an artist could use it. So I think it's worthwhile not to using it to limit us, but being open to exploring it. And then you might use only 2 gestures, but by exploring 10, you have it.
You have to I mean, that's what I meant. You have to read.
Yeah.
You have to read the whole
Yeah.
paragraph to be able to surmise it in 4 words.
But I think just to explore the use of gestures beyond, so that nobody is using it literally, but to explore the use of beyond, as well as for new vocabulary and different formats, I think it allows that aspect of the art form to grow.
For sure. That I'm not debating that at all. But it's just.
I have a question. Do we have time? Yeah, so the question is about the compositions that we choose again and again. See, all the compositions that we do are set in a what do you say, in a society of yesteryear. A society that not many connect to today, you know. Is there a need for us to move forward in terms of compositions itself?
Well, if you had come to my Navadisha talk last
That's what I talked about. Was if you take an English poem, what's the syntax and how do you deal with it? Because the poem worked with putting. I specifically said no.
I know you did add Michelangelo.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you're talking about. Is because it's a 21st century piece. I could have put Kolam, and remember I talked to you about it as like the whole thing. The poem was about a girl seeing a man with his new girlfriend or something like that. So you could easily be putting Kolam or whatever Kolam and see them together and go, oh my goodness, and you know it works. But she was a black woman in Chicago. She didn't put no columns outside. So then, who do you remain true to?
I
mean,
agree with that.
it's a huge
in
question.
the sense that maybe there are specific compositions which do mention at times very cultural and time specific things. But largely, actually, if you think of it, it's the dancer who's putting the kolam.
Yes.
The composition doesn't have a kolam, it doesn't have an arati, it doesn't have a, paan kudukarthu. We are borrowing it from a time, and maybe that's also what this exercise is about, right? If you want to effectively translate from, okay, I don't put a kolam anymore while I wait for my boyfriend, what will I do? Then, but how do I do that well or nicely? I think it's because we've just taken even the imagination or the
It's like a time capsule.
that from somebody
I
and
agree.
we're holding on to it like a museum piece, but the composition is only telling you a woman is angry with a man,
Yeah.
which
So
I
true.
definitely can feel. So why does that is definitely not for me a time specific thing at all.
It's a lot about perception, I think. I think that the problem is that a perception of a piece is then your perception of it because you've possibly seen it like 3 or 4 times. Is like if you think of
You can't think of anything else.
your brain is
apart from that.
literally, you're almost like knocked into this one perception of a piece. Like I've seen someone do Nino Judo, I actually think it was you. But like, and I know, and we learned from the same teacher, except ours was we were doing puja, he comes to the door, you open the door, you're like, oh my goodness, you're here. Come, let me talk about how I missed you, right? Hers was like, she was watering the flowers and then his feet were there. And I remember going, that's not it. Like, I remember myself going, that's not it. You do something like that, right? And I went, that's not it. But then I was like, wait, why have I decided that's not it? Like, that's my perception of the piece. Why? And I remember when I first ever read Ninu Juda, I always thought that it was something, and this is probably my English or I watched too much American television, but I felt it was something that happened after they had union. But it is that kind of thing. It's a very, to me it was very pillow talk. The way that conversation,
Why can't it be?
and it's not wrong either, but my perception went from when I first read it going, wow, this is something really intimate, to wow, this happens right at the door where she it doesn't always happen like that if you've lived in the real world. That's not, you don't do stuff. That's fine. I'm just saying that perception is the thing that draws us to keep going
if
to
it's
these things
perception,
rather
then
than.
how do you make it relatable to today?
Why is it not related? Do you think just
No,
because
I don't mean the concept
the
of it. I mean the presentation of it.
No, I think drawing from Aka's point, because she said how the emotion, the padam or the composition only talks about the emotion. Emotions are universal.
I agree.
That's why.
But how do we change that presentation part when we're still stuck in the...
I'm
we have
asking
to.
why is that important?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can if you would like to do it. I think that's absolutely welcome.
Why is it important? Because I feel like that is why the generation today does not relate to our dance as
Why?
much as...
No, but
You
that's
think, I mean, like, because the point, I feel like when you're concentrating on the piece, if the concentration goes into these pictures that you're creating and you're losing the plot is the situation, right? The conversation between man and woman or whoever is involved. If you lose that plot and if your focus is going on elements, and also, see, for me, for the longest time, this kolam also I understood because I saw people putting kolam, but I didn't even understand the connotation of why would you, like, I don't understand what that means, right? Which means if I did it now when I'm dancing as part of my dance, maybe then I'm not even going to be convinced of what I'm doing. It will become something that I just do, right, as a gesture. It may not help me in any way further the cause of that composition or that situation. But if you're keeping the focus on that plot and on that conversation, I don't walk away from an audience ever remembering about kolam potala, arati edtala, car drive panintala, whatever, whatever it may be. Like, my question is, why is that important? That is not what brings relevance or not. But if the question is you're asking is, I would like to show, I don't know, a modern activity or a contemporary activity, how do I do it? That is a very valid question, right? But அப்படி பண்ணலனா we will lose an audience. I don't.
No, it's not about losing the audience. My only query is
Yes,
about...
can we do one thing? Can
we do things that-
officially close the Parishodhane and then we can have this talk? So So that.
Is the last one?
Huh?
Hope is the last one?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
It was the fourth, but they
Yeah.
decided to. Yeah.
Decided to go.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes.
Okay.
Any closing, and then we can continue this. Sorry. Any closing thoughts? Any closing remarks from you guys?
I think just thinking out loud, what I think will be taken away from this is that the whole point about whether use hastas or not use hastas, concentrate only on satvika. I think the best thing is to strike a balance between the two, where sometimes you first set it with the hastas and then you go ahead with the satvika part of it also. But I think somewhere we do need a balance between the two. We need both. We need both somewhere. We can't get rid of either completely. But yeah, I think that's what I understood.
Somebody
Yeah.
add anything?
When I was thinking about these terms, like it's only at this point I'm realizing how we are thinking how to create a mudra. And I found that, as I said, it can't be with just the hasta, we can't convey a lot of things. As she said, we have to express our face or eyes, and we have to add to it. Then only we can effectively convey that I felt thinking about it. So that is so happy that I got a chance to be a part of it. Thank you, Apurva.
Thank you.
No, it's such a privilege. And first of all, I have to apologize to all of you because everyone's sitting here hungry. I don't know when you ate last, but thank you so much for it. This was a very, very enriching session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for moderating it so beautifully.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah.